Hey there my foodies, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a really good day today. If you're new to my channel, welcome to the foodie family. Let's make this rich, delicious and decadent chicken lasagna that can be a perfect side to your Thanksgiving table this year. Let's get started. Okay, so to begin this lasagna, I'm going in with some oil in my pan because I'm going to start my meat sauce first. I'll let that heat up. To my heated oil, I'm going in with 1 large chopped onions, and then you'll see I go in with some chopped peppers. You can use any type of peppers that you like. I like my sauce on the spicier side. If you don't like yours on the spicier side, you can reduce on the amount of pepper, or you can replace it with pepper flakes or black pepper. I'm just gonna go in and give it a nice toss and get it nice and coated in that oil. What I want here is for my onions to fry really brown and let all of that flavor release into the oil. So my onions are nice and brown. Here I'll go in with 1 tablespoon of freshly chopped garlic. I would have added this earlier, but it might have burned in my oil because I needed to wait for that onion to get brown. To allow that garlic to fry, I'll go in and give it a nice toss and just let it fry for about a minute or so. After this is where I like to go in with my ground meat. Today I'm using 1 pound of ground chicken that I already washed. As you can see there, I'm just gonna drop it in, and I'll start to mix it in with all of those onions, garlic, and peppers, and allow it to fry until it's completely cooked. Okay, so this is what my chicken is looking like. It fried down really nice and dry. This is how I like to do it because I want to get all of that moisture out. I don't need that in my sauce. This is where I'll go in with my prego sauce. You guys know which one I always use. It's the roasted garlic and herb. I went in with almost the entire bottle to 1 pound of chicken. It depends on how saucy you like yours. I like mine somewhere in between. I'll just go ahead and give that a good mix. Alright, I have my sauce nice and mixed in here. It's time for me to season it. I'm going in with 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 3 tablespoons of sugar. If you guys don't like your sauce on the savory/sweet side, you can omit the sugar or add less. I just like mine to be a little bit on the sweeter side because all of those salts from the cheeses and stuff, it helps it balance out. And lastly, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'll just go in and give that a mix. For a little bit of freshness, I'm going to go in and slice some fresh basil on top. I know that my sauce has basil already, but this freshness of this basil just adds a whole other different level of flavor. It's totally optional. I just like to do it because I want to build more flavors into my lasagna. And this is the secret to my lasagna sauce. I always like to grate in about 2 tablespoons of white sharp cheddar. You can use any type of white cheddar that you like. I just like to use this because it somehow adds a great taste to it, and I just like how it tastes within my lasagna, or actually any meat sauce that I'm making to add to pasta. This is my secret to my meat sauce. I'm just going in for 1 final mix. I will get everything nice and mixed in, and I'll cover this and allow it to go for about 35 minutes on low heat until that sauce reduces down a little bit and everything is nice and absorbed into the meat. Okay, so it's time to check on our sauce. This is what it's looking like. I'm going to take it off the stove now with a little bit of extra liquid in it because it's hot right now, and when it cools down, it's going to thicken up a little bit more. So I'll put this in a separate dish, allow it to cool down, and let's move on to our cheese filling. For my ricotta cheese filling, I'm going in with a 2-pound jar of ricotta cheese. You can use any brand that you like. They all taste the same to me if you ask me. I went ahead and mixed the cheese up a little bit so that I can break it down, and I need to season it. I'm going in with 1 1/4 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. This is what I like to use in my ricotta cheese to season it. I know some people use eggs, they use Parmesan cheese, but I don't really like those in mine. However you want to season yours, definitely go ahead and do it your way. I'm just going to go ahead and mix all of those seasonings into my ricotta cheese. I'll set it aside, and now it's time to work on our lasagna sheets. To boil my lasagna sheets, here I have my pan filled with hot water. I'm gonna go in with some oil and salt. The oil prevents your sheets from sticking together, and the salt adds some flavor. I'm gonna go in with 16 sheets today. That is enough that I need with no extras. When I boil my lasagna sheets this way, none of it breaks up, none of it sticks, so I'm never worried that I need an extra one. If you've never done this before, boil 1 or 2 extra just in case. It wouldn't hurt. Here I'm adding my lasagna sheets. I'm doing them 1 at a time, and as you can see, my pan is the direct size for this, which is why I'm spreading it out that way, but it's also intentional so that when I'm ready to move them, they also don't stick as well. You need to use a wide pan to boil these sheets because if you happen to put them in a pan that they can't fit properly, that's where the trouble starts. That's where they start breaking up. You want to keep them nice and flat as they boil, and you should be fine. I have all of my sheets here. I'm gonna allow these to boil for 15 to 18 minutes. That's how I like to do mine. You can also follow the instructions on your box. I'd suggest you should do that because every, lasagna brand is different. So I'll let this boil and then I'll come back and show you what it's looking like when it's done. Okay, so it's time to check on my lasagna sheets. This is what they're looking like. As you can see, none of them are sticking. They're all intact. Nothing is broken or torn. This is why I said I'm never worried when I do it this way. I'm going to drain this and soak them in some cold water so the cooking can stop. Now I'm ready to assemble my lasagna. Here I have my 11 by 9 pyrex dish. I'm just going in with a little bit of that meat sauce at the bottom. This adds moisture to your bottom lasagna sheet so it doesn't bake out and be dry. So I'm going to go in with that and then I'll start layering my sheets. More sauce, more ricotta cheese, and some cubes of mozzarella. So for the top of my lasagna, after completing all of my layers, I like to go in with a little bit of that meat sauce as well. Like I said before, it keeps your pasta nice and moist. And for my cheese here, I bought a 8-ounce piece of mozzarella cheese. You can find them anywhere in your grocery store. I've pre-shredded my cheese on my own. I do not like to use the shredded cheese that you get in the store. For some reason, it does not melt very well, which is why I like to buy the actual bar of cheese and shred it on my own. I'm just gonna go ahead and cover the top entirely with this shredded mozzarella. I have all of my cheese here. I'm going in with some aluminum foil because I do not like to bake my lasagna open. The cheese tends to burn. I'll cover this with the foil and I'll bake it for 1 hour at 375. And then after the hour has passed, I'm going to turn my broiler on for about 3 to 4 minutes and I'll allow the top to get a nice slightly golden brown crust on my center rack in my oven. My lasagna is done baking. It has been officially an hour and look how beautifully it baked up. That broiler did a really good job on my crust. I'm just gonna go in and cut a slice out very carefully. This is very hot at the moment. As you can see, the cheese is bubbling out to the side. Ideally, you should let this cool down, but I couldn't wait to dig into this. But don't be like me. Allow your lasagna to cool down or else you'll have a hot mess on your hands. You're going to see pretty soon what it's going to look like, but still, it tastes just as delicious. I'm going in for a nice hearty slice of my lasagna. If you've ever had this before, then you know how good it usually tastes. Just look at that. Isn't that a perfect slice of lasagna? Like I was saying before, don't cut your lasagna if it's hot. You're gonna get all of that ricotta cheese running out. Just let it cool down a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do like it, give it a thumbs up and also share with family and friends. Drop a comment below how you like to have your lasagna done. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.